Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and children of all ages. It's Thursday. I think it's April 24th, yes. And Thursday means that Lake Ontario Simplex net is on 446.125. So we're just waiting for the clock to tick over to 7 p.m. My call sign, Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey, VA3IMW, situated here in Hamilton on the West Mountain. And we'll stand by. There's the clock ticking over to 7 p.m. right now. Let's open up the net. Attention all stations. This is Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey. Welcome to the Thursday evening edition of the Lake Ontario Radio Club net here on 446.125. And we're in Simplex, which means not everybody is going to be able to hear everybody. That includes me. So if you guys hear something that I don't, please feel free to let me know. We can utilize relays where necessary. So we've got one in the logbook already. VA3NFG was an early check-in, just getting home from work. And we'll take a quick standby for any time-sensitive mobile or priority traffic stations. Come on in with your call sign. All right, nothing heard. Having to get used to not hearing the repeater drop because there isn't one on this frequency. Okay, I see Charles is logged in on YouTube. Thank you very much and appreciate the like. And let's see who's ready to do an RF check-in. VA3IMW, standing by for anybody, anywhere.
There we go. Let's try this. VA3 CJZ.
The second transmission worked a lot better than the first. Did you forget to open your mouth, or is it something computer related again?
Oh, I shut everything down before I went up for dinner, and I forgot to turn the audio mixer on. So yeah, what a lovely day. Didn't spend a whole lot of time outside, but I did some stuff. I've been busy hunting down streaming software, and I finally got one that's almost exactly the same as the other one that I had. But I noticed when I rebooted the computer, the program defaulted to the locked version, and so I had to run the crack patch again, and got it going. So I don't know. I've run into this problem before. There's something I have to do, but I'm not sure what. But anyhow, we're working on it. No radio experience for me today, but maybe this evening. The bands have been so crappy, but I don't know if they're doing well at all or not. Maybe you or someone else can tell me. Back to you there, Mac.
All right. Well, the limited time that I had to play around after getting home from work, I can say that 40 meters is noisy, but I was able to hear stations that I expected to hear. So, your neighboring U.S. border stations, Ohio and New York State and stuff like that. Illinois. So all that stuff was working as well as could be expected. When I went to 20 meters, it was like somebody turned the lights out. I was looking for Wisconsin, Wyoming, and a few other states that are in that 20 meter first bounce region, and I didn't hear a thing. So I think somebody's unplugged 20 meters, but 40 meters, it will probably get better as the night goes on. As the noise dies down, you'll be able to hear a little bit more of this and that. As far as any of the higher bands, I didn't see anybody active down there, so I really didn't listen for 10 to 17 meters. But it's nice to hear you on 70 centimeters with an S9 signal up the hill.
good. Yeah, I've got the the YouTube going there, but I haven't looked at it while I was transmitting, but now I am. So yeah, giving you the full 20 watts on 70 centimeters. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm set at. I'm usually set at that. And yeah, I see Larry's joined us there. Good evening, Larry. Yeah, it is 20 watts. So very good. I'm curious. I'm going to turn it down to 10 watts and do an experiment. I know there's no big pileups, but there we go. I just dropped it down to 10 watts, and it still seems like it's wanting to flicker 9. So let's go down to 5 watts, and there you go. There's 5 watts, and there's the lowest I can get it, 2 watts. So 2 watts back to you. VA3 CJZ.
Yep, QSL. And you recall that I was always talking to RPAD about signals peaking with audio, and he said, no, that's not possible because the carrier is the full signal. However, when you're punching through from wherever to wherever, sometimes that audio punch gives a little boost to the signal. I don't know why. It's not supposed to be that way. The carrier is supposed to be full power, and then modulation is within that region. But sometimes you see audio peaks almost work like sideband, even on FM. So yeah, let's just say that full power is an S9 for your carrier. Your carrier at 5 was... wait a minute. Your carrier for 5 was 7. Your carrier... No, you went down to 10 watts first, which was an S7. Your carrier for 5 watts was S5. When you went down to 2 watts, it stayed at S5. So that's pretty much the basement, but still able to communicate in Simplex. Good on you. All right. Anything else for the net there, Chuck?
Well, not at the moment, but if there is, I'll break back in, but I'll send it back to you, sir.
Very good. Okay, let's see. There's VA3MHV also logging in on YouTube. Let's see who else is interested in the RF check-in tonight. VA3IMW, standing by.
Victor Echo 3, India Uniform Kilowatt.
VA3, Mike Hotel Victor.
Okay, we got Bill and Mark, and somebody doubled with Bill. Who was the doubling station?
That's me with my 4 watts, VE3LBI.
Well, Bill's going to be really happy about this because he walked you. Are you time sensitive, Larry? Are you trying to get to class?
Nope, not time sensitive at all. I'm fully wide open.
All right, we'll bring you guys in order then. Bill, go ahead.
Yep, good evening, Mac. Good evening to everyone on frequency. And Chuck, when you went down to 2 watts, you were still in F7 here, so I was still able to copy you. Nothing here, new Mac. Was going to go do an activation today, but I got busy doing other stuff. May do one tomorrow afternoon, early evening. Other than that, nothing else. So back to you.
Well, there's still time, Bill. I don't think you're going to get a better day this week. When I hopped in the truck tonight to leave work, the temperature gauge on the dash said 29 degrees. Of course, it had been sitting in the sun all afternoon. But as I motored down the highway, I could see 26. So a high of 26 today. That was gorgeous. I'm not even going to bother to look at the forecast for tomorrow, but you can pretty much guarantee that we're not going to get more than one day in a row of this, right?
Yeah, especially not this time of the year.
Yep. So are they forecasting snow or something for tomorrow?
I haven't looked. I'm an optimist. I look when I get up in the morning. Anyway, I agree with what you were saying about FM, and that's why sometimes you hear them even using compression on FM. I mean, they do it on commercial radio, so I'm with you in regards to that. Anyways, Matt, nothing else. Back to you. I'm going to let you pick up the other folks, so I'll be listening.
All right. You can probably see on your signal, your carrier's an S9, your audio peaks go to a +10. So very good signal here on this frequency. Your antenna's happy, your radio's happy, and you're happy because you walked Larry. Anyways, let's bring in Mark, VA3MHV.
Good evening, Mac, and all others on frequency. Just checking in, my friends. Been messing around with my new Zigo here with Steve, trying to get a wire so I can get the resonance on some bands. But so far, a lot of noise and not many signals. I had about 128 feet out, and now we've got it shortened down to just around 100. And it doesn't appear to have improved at all, so we're trying to work out, get the kinks out of that, and come up with an antenna that works.
Okay. Are you using a balun with the wire?
Affirmative, 49 to 1. Using a long wire with no ground on it. Just got the one connector,
Okay. Yep, that's fine. And are you trying to tune this for 40 meters?
Yeah, I've been trying to. It's got the auto tuner, so it'll tune most of them. But you have to be a WR before we begin or use the auto tuner. It has a little analyzer built in. It's not great, so I'm almost at the point of scrap this one and start over.
Okay, don't scrap anything, but when we say tune an antenna, we're tuning it for resonance. So take the antenna tuner out of the picture altogether. You want the wire to be at the right length. Remember that magic calculation of 468 divided by the target frequency, and that's the number of feet that you need. If I remember correctly, that's for a half wave. Let me get my phone and double check the calculations. It's either a half wave or a full wave. But truth be told, I've already memorized what the length for 40 meters is for a 49 to 1 balun. It's 67 feet 8 inches.
Yeah, well, originally, Mac, we were shooting for get as many bands as we can, right? So that's why we started at about 128, 130. And the SWR was pretty good on some of them last night. Steve analyzed it with his little tiny analyzer. Yeah, but the bands are so crappy right now. It's hard to tell.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, if you want to have an antenna that works on 80 meters, 40 meters, 20 meters, and you have to work hard with the tuner in order to get it resonant on 17, 15, and 12. It'll probably still work fairly well on 10 meters. That's going to be 133 feet, around there, 133 and a bit. But if you're looking for something that works really well on 40, 20, and 10, that 67 feet 8 inches will work like a charm. And then your tuner will pick up the slack and fill in the bits and pieces it needs for 17, 12, and 15. So, yeah, give her a try. I mean, you've already cut it down. So you might as well make yourself a wire that works on 40, 20, and once the bands either quiet down or become more active, then you'll be able to test it out for sure. 40 meters, like I said to Chuck, it's fairly decent tonight. A little bit on the noisy side, but I did hear neighboring stations in Illinois, Michigan, where else? Ohio, Pennsylvania. So all the typical spots that you would expect to hear on 40 meters fairly well. So yeah, at your leisure, feel free. Experimentation is what it's all about, Roger.
Roger that, Mac. I'm thinking, take it down to 65, 67 points. What did you think? 67 point something. I just try that on because I've already cut it down to 100 already. I can't make it 130 again now.
Comment.
Okay, hang on, Chuck. Yeah, so go ahead. 67 feet 8 inches is the perfect place where it's going to work on 40 and 20. And you might not even need the tuner to work. But let's bring in Chuck. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, thank you. VA3, CJ's at Mark and Mac. Just a suggestion. You don't always need to cut. When you're close to the length you want, you can always fold back, a foot or two, whatever, before you cut it. Make sure you have extra, and then you just fold it back, and then when you find the right length, then you cut it there. Back to you, Mac.
Yep, QSL. Yeah. So there you go, Mark. Folding it back, it is the same as cutting because you reduce the electrical length, if that makes any sense. Anyways, good luck with your experimentation. Building your own antenna is a lot of fun because when you make something that works, there is certainly a sense of accomplishment.
Comment.
All right, guys. Thanks for the suggestions. I had a coil built in the end of it at one point. There was less than 130 runs. It was 130 feet a while. We had coiled it to fool it, trick it into thinking it was shorter. However, it wasn't acting like we were hoping it would. So. Anyway, VA3, Michael, tell Victor, I'll send it back to you guys. Carry on now.
Okay, Mark, and one more comment, so don't turn the radio off. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, 468 feet. 468 divided by 7.13 would give you around 65.64 inches. Or 65 feet. 65.63 feet. I'll be all right.
I doubt it. Anyways, yeah. My magic 67 feet 8 inches is the result of trying to have something that's resonant, like basically a full wave for 20 meters, a half wave for 40 meters. And I think it works out to be 175 and 200, or I don't know, something like that. Anyways, it works fairly well for both of them. In the mid region of the band that where you're going to work sideband. Anyways, thanks for the input, Bill. Appreciate it. Anything else for Mark?
No, I have to run, so I'm going to say 7-3 now. Have a good evening, and thanks for doing it, Mac.
Okay, I don't recommend running. It's dangerous. Just maybe saunter. Okay, let's not keep Larry waiting any longer. VE3LBI, go ahead.
Yep, thanks, Mac. Just listen along there. I just hear what Mark said there. He doesn't have a counterpoise on it, so with no counterpoise, his actually coax is acting as the counterpoise. So I'm not sure how long his coax is. If it's short, it's not a good counterpoise for the actual 49 to 1.
Comment?
Go ahead, Mark.
I'm actually using quite a long run because I got a 50-footer. I was hoping to run to the roof, but they denied me permission. So I have a small coil up under the shack bench. So NFG and I were thinking that would act as a counter.
Yeah, it will. Your coax will be your counterpoise. Is there no place to put a counterpoise on the actual 49 to 1?
On the ballon, there is no contact point. No, I could ground out the coax housing with a little alligator clip or something.
No, it's okay. As long as you get the coax. Coax sounds like it's long enough. You said you got a coil. Yeah, okay. Well, normally, a lot of the 49 to 1s actually have a counterpoise right on them, so you could actually, you're into that for your antenna. But at the present time, the way it's set up, you're actually using the coax as your counterpoise.
Just one more question for any of you guys, Matt. If I was to run that 67.8, does that include your little wraparound at the end for your insulator? Because mine's suspended up in the
It's not 67.8, it's actually 67 feet 8 inches. So that's 67 and 3/4 feet, right? 8/12, 8/12. That's three. Yeah, that's 3/4. So yeah, 67 feet 8 inches. So you're going to wrap a little bit around the terminal on the. Yeah, so cut it an inch or two long. A little tad bit long is always better than being short. And I'm just not going to touch that one with a 10 foot full.
All right, thank you, guys.
Okay. Biting my tongue. Back to you, Larry. Go ahead.
Yep, very pleasant day today. Spent a lot of time outside actually. Unwrapped some stuff. We had some chairs that we had, and around that chairs we had piled up wood ones, and took the covers off of them, had a tarp over them. And I went as far as take the cover off the air conditioner, so clean up a little bit outside. And we had an appointment this afternoon at 3:30, so that kind of messed up the day.
QSL. I was having a quick chat with Dave on the way home, and remarking that we could potentially go from heating weather to air conditioning weather overnight, just like we had to do last year. But yeah, with I think the impending stuff coming up tomorrow and over the weekend is going to be a little chillier. So hopefully we get a little reprieve, which is just turn the furnace off weather and enjoy that without having to crank up the AC and get that going. Yeah, very good. And any further trouble with your red-breasted friend in the garage?
No, well, it comes in and out. I've got the door closed. I just hope he doesn't find a woodpecker with steel beak, because I might have holes on my garage door.
Oh, those steel woodpeckers! I think they're a big problem in the Steel City.
Absolutely, yeah. I guess we're supposed to get rain tomorrow. You guys were talking before, but there are calls for rain tomorrow. So yeah, he comes in and out. I found a spot where he's actually building, but the door's been closed most of the day today because, like I said, we were out doing some running around this morning, and then had an appointment this afternoon.
Alrighty, your 4 watts is doing a bang up job over here, Larry. Not quite an S9, but close enough for the girls we date, Roger.
Yes, sir. That's all that counts. Yeah, I got the old 4 watts. That's it. Keep it at the low end. I don't need to push it up. So, anyways, that's it for tonight, and hope to hear everybody in tomorrow night at the 8 o'clock.
For the ZOE Rag Chew. Very good. Excellent segue there. Yeah, 8 p.m. tomorrow night. And oh my goodness, Thursday night always means it's one more sleep towards the weekend. So looking forward to tomorrow. A young fella at work, we have a co-op student. Tomorrow's his last day. And since we've successfully landed a new contract, the boss is taking us all out for lunch tomorrow, and we're celebrating the new business win, and it's a way to say thanks a lot and sayonara to our co-op student who's moving on to other things as the month draws to a close. Anyways, thank you very much, Larry, and recognizing Guy online. Thank you very much for joining us on YouTube. Certainly appreciate it. And let's see. Anything else, Larry, before we see if anybody else is waiting for an RF check-in?
Nope, that's it. Thanks for doing it, Mac. And that's it. I'll listen along for a bit there. VA3IMW.
Okie dokie. So let's see. Good list of qualified amateurs on the log here so far. Let's see if there's anybody else interested in saying hello to us tonight. VA3IMW standing by. And if you hear relays, anybody in need of a relay, certainly let me know.
Victor Echo 3, Bravo, Mike Oscar.
Good evening, Pierre. And goodness gracious, I thought with the weather being as beautiful as it is, you'd still be out at park.
No, sir. Decided to check in, but I do have a question.
Fire away, my friend.
All right. When you did sulfate the other day, as a whole pile of these up there activating, did you activate under the club, or did you activate individually?
Wade activated the club call, and the other operators activated with their call signs. So it was a combination.
All right.
Did you not get all of us in the log? I forget whether you made contact with us or not.
Absolutely not.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay. So yeah, what did we have? We had a dozen operators. I have to double check my my notes whether it was a dozen including the club call or excluding. But yeah, there seems to be some room for interpretation in what the rules of these group activations is. But if you have any input on what the proper protocol is, we'd be more than willing to hear what we should be doing.
Well, my thought would be kind of a shyster move, just pulling one person as the HPO call. And that same person did upload the logs to his call too from that day. So, yeah, somebody needs to figure out something. When you're at a group activation, you're either doing a activation as a group, as individual operators, and each operator is getting on the microphone, or everybody's using the HPO club call and only uploading to the club.
Alrighty. Okay. I will reach out to Wade, and we shall do some further research into the rules and see what we come up with. Appreciate the input, Pierre.
Yeah, no problem. It's just been eating me up here for a while because it doesn't seem right. And I'm sure a lot of other operators would think the same way. Because when you're doing contests, it works the same way. You use the club call, and everybody's using that club call, right? And if you're using individual operators, well, start getting on the microphone, folks.
Yeah, okay. Just thinking of comparative situations. There's a number of the U.S. operators that run their personal call and the club call while they're doing an activation. So obviously, Charlie Mike Tango, that's one of the guys that comes to mind. He was up here in Hamilton and activated with Larry and myself and Dave. And he was also using his own call sign and his club call sign. So that's kind of where we, took our leadership and guidelines, was just the examples that some of the other U.S. operators had shown how they were doing things. So, anyways, a little further research in there. Like I said, I certainly appreciate the input there, Pierre. Something for us to look into.
Yeah, no problem. I was reading the rules and I read this thing like, I swear to God, max 30 times. And there was no other way of looking at that as far as I was concerned. And that other fellow using the club call with his own call, that's not right either. If he had a second call of his own, sure, but not a club call. That's the club's.
Yeah, and he's not the only one that does it. anyways, yeah, there's a bunch of the U.S. operators when they're activating, they'll activate with a club call. Actually, I can think of one guy that activates with his girlfriend or wife and plus a club call. And anyways, let's look it up, have a read, and we'll chat about it before we get together for our next group activation, and we'll all come up with a confirmed position on where we stand on this. But thanks again there, and appreciate the check-in.
Yeah, no problem, Matt. I just had to get that off my chest. It didn't bother me. Thanks for taking my check-in and listen to what of course, my big mouth has to say. 7 threes, and good to hear everybody on here on Simplex.
Yeah, very good, very good. Great signal coming up from your station. And yeah, I would expect nothing less from the big mouth operator. 7 threes, Pierre. This is Victor Alpha 3, India Mike Whiskey. Stand by for any further check-ins for tonight's Lake Ontario Radio Club.
VA3 DCS.
There he is, VA3 DCS with his 20 over S9 signal. You got the big slice of the pie tonight. How was your trip home tonight?
Oh, it was good. Still a little bit busy in the Burlington side, but not too bad. Took me a little bit longer, but I think it might be, the normal seasonal type drives. Or maybe people are back to going to the office. I don't really know, but well, it's also start of construction season.
Yes, right. That's true. Ontario highways, there's 2 seasons. There's winter and construction season.
Exactly. Well, I know the way I went home tonight up through Waterdown, up Avonside to Parkside Drive, across to 6. They're repaving that to make it nice and smooth. So when they shut down that bridge on the main drag going through Waterdown out through on Dundas Street, the bridge over Grindstone Creek and the railway, it's going to be only one way eastbound for the duration of its repair. And Parkside Drive will become the only real route that's going to be westbound.
Yes, and they don't care whose life they interrupt. Well, it's good to see that you've got your plans all laid out for you in advance. And yeah, proven routes. Just like Tuesday, it was nice to have a proven route to make an alternate trip home, even though somebody's personal problems interfered with vehicular conveyance through the greater city of Hamilton, Ontario. Anyways, thanks for popping over to the Simplex frequency, and I'm glad you came in quietly, because otherwise you really would have probably burst a speaker and maybe caused some hearing damage. But thanks for your check-in, Dave. Let me know if you got anything else.
No, I guess it didn't burst in. Actually, I'm sitting about a foot away from the microphone, so it's not the way I usually talk. I usually have it right to my face.
Okay, good job. Don't forget about the 4 million folks from India. Trudeau, what the heck is going on there? Well, Chuck and Guy are having a political conversation in the chat room. I'll leave that one alone. Anyways, yes, quick reminder, do your civic duty. Get out there and vote. You can't complain about the government unless you put your tick mark in the box. So, thanks again, Dave. And I'll pass it back to you for your final.
All right, thanks, Mac. Thanks for doing it. And hello to everybody that already checked in before me. Yep, so VA3 DCS will be clear with the VA3IMW.
Okay, thanks again. Lots of time. We've got lots of space on the page and lots of activity on YouTube as well. Yeah, don't forget, if you want to watch us on YouTube, just look for my call sign, VA3IMW. Scroll down until you see the big red live sticker and click on that link. That's where we are. VA3IMW, standing by for any further check-ins for this Thursday night Simplex edition of the Lake Ontario Radio Club Net. Okay, nothing heard. Conspicuous by his absence tonight is VA3NCA. He's a busy guy these days. I trust he's doing well with all his extra responsibilities. And we haven't heard tonight from across the pond, VE3 VYT. So I'm assuming he's out getting some fresh air and walking around in Bronte Park. And of course, Mike, would be nice to hear from him once in a while. VE3 UET. And our other guy over there, the retired bus driver, Thomas, VE3. Uh-oh. Okay. Starting to, yeah, that's it. Thanks, Chuck. VE3 Charlie Echo Uniform. Yes, this chat thing is wonderful. It's like having a teleprompter in front of you. Anyways, last chance for anybody's check-in tonight or any rechecks. VA3IMW, standing by. Okay, nothing heard. Time to close down the net and shut off the computer. Thank you all for your check-ins tonight. I'm going to take the opportunity to work 40 meters tonight. Hopefully there's enough folks poking around on Parks on the Air that I can make some contacts. Pretty much gave up on 20 meters. We'll look forward to hearing and seeing everybody on the net tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on the ZOE repeater, 443.075 with a +5 offset and a very cordial host, otherwise known as VE3LBI, our own Larry on the East Mountain here in Hamilton. So thanks again for all your check-ins tonight. And we'll return this frequency back to normal amateur use. I'll QSY back to the repeater, and we'll shut down the YouTube stream. 73s, one and all. That's how we say goodbye.
7-3 Mac, Guy, and everyone else. VA.